same old rise. Get ready for Diffusion of the Delusion Radio.
You're listening to Diffusion of the Delusion Radio here on GY Radio Network. I am Rando. I am your host. Tonight we're going to talk about America's Stonehenge and what it very well could mean, and some interesting things that have happened this year. Been some interesting things happening all the way since 1980 when those stones were erected. They were dedicated on March the 22nd of that year. I remember that very well. I graduated in 1980. That tells you how old I am. Very interesting. Babs and I talked briefly about this a few weeks ago on one of the test broadcasts of Diffusion of the Delusion. Just make sure everything was up and running right. That's when we were just getting going in GY Radio Network, and now it's really going full speed ahead. The Georgia Guidestones are also known as America's Stonehenge. Very interesting things about these 6 granite slabs that are standing out in the middle of a field in Elbert County, Georgia. Very interesting. There are inscriptions on these stones in 8 different languages. The stones are 19 feet 3 inches tall. 1 slab stands in the center and 4 are arranged around it, and a capstone lays on top of all 5 of the stones. We'll get into a little bit of history straight from Wikipedia, and then we're going to talk about this and tie some things in to what's going on right now on our planet. In June of 1979, an unknown person and persons under the pseudonym R.C. Christian hired Elberton Granite Finishing Company to build the structure. In 2008, the stones were defaced with polyurethane paint and graffiti with slogans such as "Death to the New World Order." In September 2014, an employee of Elbert County Maintenance Department contacted the FBI when the stones were vandalized with graffiti, including the phrase, "I am Isis, Goddess of Love." On September the 22nd, after a tip on September the 11th, local blogger Van Smith reported that a granite cube inscribed with the numbers 20 and 14 had been installed in a square notch in the corner of the English language stone. The cube was later removed and destroyed by someone who appeared to be an Elberton official, as recorded in a video which showed additional markings on the stone. 8, 16, the letters M, and the word jam. So on the 4 sides of the cube were the numbers 20, 14, 8, and 16. On the top of the cube was MM. On the bottom of the cube inscribed was JAM. So the message, consisting of a set of 10 guidelines and principles, is engraved on the Georgia Guidestones in 8 different languages, 1 language on each face of the 4 large upright stones. 1 on each side of the tube of the stones, 2 sides. Moving clockwise around the structure from due north, the languages are English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, Chinese, and Russian. And this is what they say. translated, of course, into English, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. And then a few feet west of where the monument is there an additional granite ledger. It's been set level with the ground. That tablet identifies the structure and the languages used on it, lists various facts about the size, weight, and astronomical features of the stones, the date it was installed, and the sponsors of the project. It also speaks of a time capsule buried under the tablet, but fields on the stone reserved for filling in the dates on which the capsule was buried and is to be opened have not been inscribed. So it is uncertain if the time capsule was ever put in place. Each side of the tablet is perpendicular to one of the cardinal directions and is inscribed so that the northern edge is the top of the inscription. At the center of each tablet edge is a small circle, each containing a letter representing the appropriate compass direction: north, south, east, west, in order. Of course, this is the word news. That's where news comes from, N-E-W-S, news. North, south, east, west, or north, east, west, south would be the word news, acronym. The complete text of the explanatory tablet is detailed below in this article. The tablet is somewhat inconsistent with respect to punctuation and also misspells pseudonym. The original spelling, punctuation, and line breaks in the text have been preserved in the transcription which follows. Letter case is not at the top. Okay, Georgia Guidestones, center cluster erected March 22nd, 1980. Do you a quick search on March 22nd, 1980 and see what you can see. Matter of fact, do a quick search on 322. We're looking at March 22nd, 1980. Do the math. 1990, 2000, 2010. You with me? 34 years ago. Right? Also understand that March, the number of the month on the Julian calendar, is 3. So 322 should really jump out at anyone who really studies Bible prophecy and Bible numerics. Immediately below this is the outline of a square, inside which is written, "Let these be the guidelines to the age of reason." Now, the age of reason is very important, and we will get into this later on in the broadcast if I remember to get back to it. Because the age of reason is an interesting time and philosophy that took place in the pretty recent past. Around the edges of the square are written the names of 4 ancient languages, one per edge. Starting from the top and proceeding clockwise, they are Babylonian in cuneiform script, Classical Greek, Sanskrit, and Ancient Egyptian in hieroglyphics. On the left side of the tablet is the following column of text. Astronomical features. Channel through stone indicates celestial pole. Horizontal slot indicates annual travel of the sun. Sunbeam through capstone marks noontime throughout the year. The author, a pseudonym, R.C. Christian. Sponsors a small group of Americans who seek the age of reason. time capsule placed 6 feet under this spot on to be opened on. Those dates are not inscribed. On the right side of the tablet is the following column of text, metric conversions added. Overall height, 19 feet 3 inches. Total weight, 237,746 pounds. 4 major stones are 16 feet 4 inches high, each weighing an average of 42,437 pounds. The center stone is 16 feet 4 inches high, weighs 20,957. The capstone is 9 feet 8 inches long, 6 feet 6 inches wide, 1 foot 7 inches thick, and weighs 24,832 pounds. The support stones, or the bases, are 7 feet 4 inches long, 7 feet wide, 2 feet wide, I misread, 1 foot 4 inches thick, each weighing an average of 4,875 pounds. The support stone is 4 feet, 2.5 inches long, 2 feet 2.5 inches wide, 1 foot 7 inches thick, weight of 2,707 pounds. 951 cubic feet of granite. Granite quarried from Pyramid Quarries, located 3 miles west of Elberton, Georgia. So the 4 outer stones are oriented to mark the limits of the 18.6-year lunar declination cycle. The center column features a hole drilled in at an angle from one side to the other, through which can be seen the North Star, a star whose position changes only very gradually over time. The same pillar has a slot carved through it, which is aligned with the sun's solstices and equinoxes. A 7/8 inch aperture in the capstone allows a ray of sun to pass through at noon each day, shining a beam on the center stone indicating the day of the year. This is a technological or mathematical wonder. The precision, the way that these stones are aligned. Not random. Somebody truly knew what they were doing. They're located on a hilltop in Elbert County, Georgia, around 90 miles east of Atlanta, 45 miles from Athens, and 9 miles north of the city of Elberton. The stones are standing on a rise a short distance to the east of Georgia Highway 77, or Hartwell Highway, and are visible from the road. Small signs beside the highway indicate the turnoff for the Guidestones, which identifies the street Guidestones Road. It's located on the highest point in Elbert County. Elbert County owns the Georgia Guidestones site. According to the Georgia Mountain Travel Association's detailed history, the Georgia Guidestones are located on a farm of Mildred and Wayne Mullinax. The Elbert County land registration system shows what appears to be the Guidestones as county land purchased on October the 1st, 1979. Understand that these stones were erected and commissioned on March the 22nd of 1980. April 1st, 79 to March 22nd, 1980. You might do the math if you want to. You can roughly do the math. About 4 months. The monument was unveiled in March in front of 100 people. Another account specifies March 22nd, 1980, and about 400 people. Although Yoko Ono and others have praised the inscribed message as a stirring call to rational thinking, Wired.com stated that the unspecified opponents have labeled them as the 10 Commandments of the Antichrist. The Guidestones have become a subject of interest for conspiracy theorists.